we're gonna start off with this could be another situation of fuck around and find out. Where Clownfish put out a video yesterday about how the current tariffs that are occurring are basically fucking Disney's world over because they've become so dependent upon the Chinese audience. So I don't know if this is going to be funny or if I'm going to get angry for it. I kind of suspect I'm going to laugh at Disney. That is my suspicion. So we are into the find out arc of a lot of companies right now that have gone whole hog on things like DEI. And it's finally coming back to bite them in the ass. This could be the next chapter of it, because the only reason why they are so dependent upon China is because they've pissed off their American audience and nobody wants to have anything to do with Disney. So let's find out. Yeah, this is not something that's political. This is business related. So the whole causation of the tariffs, no comment. But the fact that the tariffs in and of themselves are fucking Disney over, I am intrigued. So I'm interested in the business financial aspect of it versus the political rationale behind it. So let's find out.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Yep.
And we
Sorry,
got another
Neon.
tariff video. We're going to talk about Disney now dealing with tariffs. And according to Market Beat here, are tariffs threatening Disney's comeback story?
That amuses me so much because
Wait, when the fuck did Disney even start a comeback story? Can someone educate me? When in the fuck did Disney even begin a comeback story in the first fucking place? Like, Disney has not had a comeback. This is fucking cope. This is absolute cope by saying that Disney even had the opportunity for a comeback story in the first fucking place.
Because that one implies Disney has a comeback story, and then
Right.
so far they have it.
Right.
Yes, Kiki.
But again, so much of Disney's stuff is manufactured in China. Bob Iger went to ABC News. He was having a conniption fit. Is that still a thing? Conniption fit?
Yeah, it is. I allow it.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Conniption fit about the prices.
Apparently, it looks like Gio Yu from Inkle, a publication I've never fucking heard of in my life. But that is who wrote the story, Gio Yu.
Steel, because my boats aren't going to get done.
Yeah, well, there's not just the boats. Everything in the boats probably made in China.
Anyway.
And then all the merchandise that they pay like $1 each for and sell it to you for $40 was made in China.
I know,
so,
right?
Yeah, but I love this. It's threatening their comeback story. What comeback story? They're getting their asses kicked at Epic Universe.
They
the
are.
box office is not their friend.
Nope.
Iger's having a meltdown because they might lose their cruise ships. Where is the
Hey, I hadn't heard about that. Disney might be losing its cruise line? Have you guys heard about this? This is new to me. I was not aware that the Disney cruise line was under threat. Anybody know why? Anybody know why that might be? Like, why is the cruise line under threat? Is there something having to do with, like, being able to sail in foreign seas or something like that? Yeah, Atasha, I did too. I thought the cruise line was like the only part of the Disney business that was actually doing well. Oh yeah, Jack, Disney absolutely has a cruise line. They've had it for at least 2 decades now, probably more. They've been talking about spinning it off as its own entity. Oh, I was unaware of that. Like, I know, like, the cruise lines definitely took a major hit back in 2020. And I'm guessing, I don't know how well they would cover, but Oh yeah, and it's like, okay, like, what else? And Ayala, that's kind of what I'm wondering. Like, was this in reference to, fuel costs, supply issues, things like that? Like, it's becoming too expensive to operate the cruise ships. Maybe that is what they're talking about, like what you said, Grumpy. That could be what the reference is.
Come back. Every time they do something stupid, it's like they're putting another shovel of dirt over themselves.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about this because actually, stocks are rebounding a little bit, and I'll tell you why they are. So here in the last day, Trump is starting to pause reciprocal tariffs. Just in the last couple hours, this came out.
Yeah, he did a 90-day. I think it was a 90-day pause.
He's going to renegotiate with every country except China. As of recording this video, it could be by the time this video goes up, he's already worked a deal out with China. But it sounds like Beijing is going to play hardball. We'll see how that goes because they're talking 104% now. We got,
and unfortunately for him, China's got a lot of leverage. Yeah, China unfortunately has a lot of leverage because you know what? You can try and swing it any way you want. The majority of goods that we as the general populace use on a daily basis, not necessarily food, but other products, guess where they're coming from? They're all coming from China. It is actually incredibly difficult. I remember seeing a study once about like someone like the study was done in the US. It was a challenge. Like, okay, spend 1 week and only purchase products that were made in the USA. And apparently it was incredibly difficult to find products that were strictly made in the US and not made in China and imported to the US. That is still the case today. Is that the majority of stuff is still getting made in China and being exported to the US. There is not a whole lot. It is correct, Lortaz, it is not just China, but China is a big part of it. Basically China leads the world in sweatshops. Okay? They lead the world in sweatshops where they can make products dirt fucking cheap to sell to corporations and conglomerates in the West, and that's how they've been doing business for fucking years. If you can't get the products from China that the vast majority of the corporations get their supply from, that is going to hurt business big time. It is. Yeah, India is starting to move into that market for cheap goods, but China is still the #1 exporter of goods for the majority of the products that you purchase here in the West.
Kevin O'Leary on CNN or CNBC saying that they should go for 400% just to drive it home. That,
okay. Fuck Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary is a cock-gobbling idiot that wishes he was Trump. Okay? Let us not fuck with this. Kevin O'Leary wishes he was Donald Trump. He wishes that he actually could have the bullshit that Trump is able to spew out on a minute basis. He looks to him as an idol, and he thought for a second he was going to be able to do what Trump did and be able to run for office as prime minister, and that quickly got shot the fuck down. Okay? Fuck what Kevin O'Leary says. Everything I've heard about him is he's smarter than Trump is in terms of business, but not by much. And he's just as big of an asshole. So yeah, fuck Kevin O'Leary. He's doing Shark Tank on the US. US, you are free to keep Kevin O'Leary. Please take Kevin O'Leary and you are free to keep him. We don't want him back here in Canada. Please keep him. Okay? We don't want him back.
China works for us. That's basically what they're trying to do, right? So it's a
No,
it's
I
a
don't want to back
global,
Redmond. You keep
game
up.
of chicken.
You keep up.
Basically.
But poor Disney. Poor Disney.
I know, right? Poor Disney.
Disney most affected. So
Well, they might have to pay $2 or $3 for an item that they charge $40 for, and then they're going to make you pay $80.
Oh, I don't think people have any idea what the profit margins are on Disney stuff. It's insane. I mean, they basically just print money, and people.
Okay, Alistair, I'll take that. Justin Bieber is washed up in nothing. I will take that deal. I will take that deal. We will take Bieber. We will take him back. He can go sit in his home for wayward pop stars and do nothing like he has been doing. You guys keep Kevin O'Leary. He's gonna cause more damage than Justin Bieber ever could. So, and no, you don't have to keep chatting.
Pay it. I mean, they will. So let's talk.
That was my
about
point. Yes.
Yeah. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe
No.
for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
All right. So let's talk about this. Are tariffs threatening Disney's comeback story?
I'm sorry that this amuses me so much.
It
During
amuses
the
me
last
too,
2
Kiki.
days, Disney stock shed over 14%. That's true. Actually, the market crashed.
Wait, Kaibo, you're gonna give me Michael Myers? Really? You would give me such a gift of Michael Myers? Oh, Kaibo, that's so sweet of you. Oh, thank you so much. Good night, Desdar.
Okay, but yeah, there's a few reasons for that. One, the market crashed across the board. Two, it was already down because their box office has been shit. And three, Epic Universe is coming for them next month. So there's plenty of reasons why the stock was.
Wait, what was that?
How about you,
Hang on.
Rich? You make that deal? I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
Oh, wait. Mike Myers. Fuck. I thought... Okay, I'll still take Mike Myers because he's funny. I thought you were talking about Michael Myers, the I got the wrong Mike Myers. But it's okay. I'll still take, Mike Myers, the comedian. I got no problem with Mike Myers. He can come on back. I'm good with that. Like, I don't disparage him for the Love Guru. He's fine. He did Shrek, so he's fine.
The board. Two, it was already down because their box office has been shit. And three, Epic Universe is coming for them next month. So there's
What is Epic Universe? Did he just said Epic Universe is coming for them next month? What's Epic Universe? Does anybody know what Kiki's talking about there? Because I don't. Wait. Epic Universe is a Universal theme park? Oh, where's it opening? I hadn't heard about this. Oh, where's that opening? It's opening in Florida. Oh, so Universal is opening a theme park in Florida. Oh, it's the first time I've heard about this. So they're opening up a competition park in Orlando. Oh, cool. Well, Dreamer, why they've already Universal already has a park in California. Why would they open up a second one? Why not open it in Florida to directly compete with Disney? Universal will probably make a fucking killing right now with a theme park competing with Disney in Florida. They make an absolute fucking killing. I had no idea that they were doing this. Cool. Okay.
plenty of reasons why the stock was down.
For the
had nothing to
Hulu
do
purchese,
with,
you're thinking, right,
you know,
Cortanis? It was like
poor
they,
Disney.
when Disney
But
basically
the thing
bought
too,
their
you gotta
share of
realize is
Hulu.
if normies get if normies panic and they're like, oh my God, we're going into another recession or depression. Yeah, we definitely can't afford a $6,000 trip to Disney
Right.
because we don't know if we're going to have eggs, and the eggs might cost $6,000. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like $500 an egg.
$500 an egg. So yeah, they're not going to book trips, and you can
Nope.
feel that people aren't spending money. They're not booking trips because they're
This has been going on for a while now. The whole thing of can people afford to go to Disney? No, we can't. This has been happening for a while. It's probably been happening for at least the last 5 years. So what's happened with the tariffs is it's put even more of a spotlight on how people are changing how they make their expenditures. That they need to reevaluate what they can afford to spend outside of essentials. Like, this has been this way for 5 years. Prices on everything have gone up and up and up. Wages have not been keeping up, so people are already at a place where they cannot spend money. That's why the video game industry is crashing out. Because they're asking for 70, 80, 90, $100 for a video game, and people can't afford to shell out that kind of money anymore. They have to focus on things, important stuff, like electricity and water and groceries. Same thing applies to Disney. Now, while there has been a pause on these tariffs, there is still going to be this overshadowing gloom of, okay, are they going to start back up? Because if it starts back up again, the price of everything is going to bounce right the fuck back up again. Because that's what tariffs do. Tariffs increase the cost of everyday items that you want to buy. Everything goes up in price. And prices are already very high. Yeah, the concept of the stay vacation or the staycation, where families with their vacation is they literally stay home and they do stuff locally instead of going anywhere. That's been a thing for at least the last 5 years. Everything that's been happening with the tariffs is just basically amplifying that even more so. And now people are going to want to spend even less money on what would be considered frivolous.
Offering a lot of deals, and we've talked about that. They only offer deals when the bookings aren't good. And I don't think they're very good. But they said, yeah, they're talking about the
potato depends on where they get their stock from.
Tariff being 104%. And now it's a trade war. And as of the market opening on April 9th this morning, Disney stock is down over 22% month to date and down over 26% year to date as investors scramble to reassess the company's exposure to global supply chain issues, international markets, and consumer sentiment.
The last one. Let's be honest. It's the last one. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely is the last one.
Down because investors are worried about how much their stuff's going to cost or cheap tchotchkes going to cost. It's down because people are like sick of Disney shit and they keep making monumental mistakes.
Yeah, that's it. Like, people are tired of Disney.
Damn corpos. They like to fornicate the government so they can stay rich and hinder innovation.
Well, that actually did sound like Johnny. Not wrong, though. Not wrong. And with Disney, people are done with Disney shit. Disney has been playing fuck around for the last 10 years. And now they're finding out. They're finding out big time. Damn near every movie they've produced has flopped in the last 5 years. Their parks are emptying out. Their products are, their physical products are not selling. They had that fucking pop-up store. Remember we checked that video? I think it was Neon put it out about the pop-up store that they you had to be a Disney member to get into it and then pay on top of that. On top of having the membership, you had to pay to get in. You could only go in with one extra person. Like, people are done with Disney's bullshit. And the chickens are coming home to roost. Disney has fucked around for so long thinking they're invincible, and now they're starting to find out.
They're tired of the movies. They're tired of, the gouging in the theme parks.
Something
now
like that, right, Silver?
Because they're putting sexy time shows on the homepage of Disney
Yes.
Plus.
Yes, Napster.
And
Again,
it's
that's
Seeker,
an
I
easy
remember.
fix from a
That's
parent's
an easy
perspective.
fix. But they got nothing. Like Disney's really, I mean, they basically get one hit for every 5 misfires at this point at the box office. And
Oh,
like
I'd
you
say
said, the
1
theme
out of
parks
10.
are losing
I'd say-
massively
I'd
to
give 1 out of 10.
Universal, but it's not just that. They're doing it to themselves. It's not that they're losing, just competing head to head with Universal. It's also them digging their own grave by
Wait. They have Modica Magica on Disney Plus? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I heard, like, the 2 stories of Clownfish that I was debating is, do I want to watch this one or the one about that's like a quote-unquote comedy about the woman who has cancer and basically just wants to fuck her way through a bucket list. And they put that on the front goddamn page of Disney Plus. That was the other Clownfish video I was debating upon. But they put goddamn Modica Magica on the front fucking page of Disney Plus. A very distinctly not kid-friendly anime. Like, holy shit. That is not a kid's movie. By any stretch of the imagination. That is a fucking psychological horror movie. And physical horror movie. Tanito, I'm not going to say it's completely different than Gushing Over Magical Girls. It is 2 very different things. Gushing Over Magical Girls is ecchi that basically has gone over the edge into hentai. Modica Magica is basically a supernatural and psychological horror anime. It is horror. It is a psychological horror film. It is a very fucked up anime that is an adults only kind of anime. No, Zeb, I'm not misremembering Modica Magica. Where I'm definitely not misremembering Modica. Not at all. It is psychological horror mixed with like physical horror because it's magical girls fighting quote unquote witches is what they call them, but there is absolute psychological horror involved in there along with the like supernatural horror. It is both. But that's fucking insane that they put that on the front page of Disney Plus. So, Nepsker, no, don't bring up Mommy. I don't want to remember that, along with the ending. Well, no, Zed, it's not gory. It's not like physically gory with like blood and guts. There's like, obviously there's some physical kind of gore to a small degree. It's primarily psychological, but there is physical gore in there.
By announcing a lot of really stupid decisions in the parks.
And then, like I said, every time they turn around, they're shoving dirt over themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like you're burying yourself. And that's why I think it's funny they're trying to blame this on Disney's, they're coming back and this is stopping them. No, Disney's stopping itself.
I can't get beyond this. Investors are now asking themselves a painful question: are the sharp losses just market turbulence, or do they pose a serious threat to the iconic brand's comeback story and the consumer discretionary sector in general? Well, look, if you watch,
there is no comeback
if you watch
story.
Like Abandoned or Defunct Land, you'll see every time there's an economic downturn, Disney gets pummeled.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's Disney out of business. Most likely
no.
not.
No.
And is it going to get sold to somebody else? Most likely not. But, they are going to probably get a hit. They're going to be, the people aren't going to go because they're going to be, everything's too expensive. They can't afford it. It's going to be like COVID again, where people didn't go because they're afraid to travel. We were just talking about this earlier today about how dystopian it was because we were there during COVID and everybody had to wear masks and stuff. It was the weirdest thing. And we didn't get COVID then.
No.
We did not get COVID then. But our next trip to Florida, we got COVID.
Yeah,
but,
we all got COVID.
Oh, God.
When they weren't doing all this stuff. But they've survived it before. They can survive it again. It's just that they're mad now because their stuff's going to cost more. Their ships are going to cost more. Getting stuff done in the parks are going to cost more. And they're not as far ahead as Universal is in this regard.
Oh, don't worry, guys. Don't worry.
Well, people are actually going to Universal in droves.
Oh, yeah. If it costs them like 30% more, so it costs you 40% more.
And they will pay it. Disney fans will pay it. That's the thing. The reason Disney can charge whatever they want to charge is there are people so hooked on Mickey Magic that they will pay whatever the price is.
This is true.
But
these people that are so hooked on the Mickey Magic actually have the money to do it. The majority of people that would like to partake of the Mickey Magic are not wealthy out of their gourd like the people that still can afford it. That is a key. Even those that are desperate for the Mickey Magic, as much as they like to say, "Oh, I don't have a problem spending $2,000 to go to Disney World, even if it's gonna burn out my credit cards," they'll say that, but the moment they go to do it, they're gonna go, "Yeah, that was all talk. I'm not actually gonna be spending this kind of money." People can't afford Disney World anymore. They can't. They just can't. They can't afford it.
What they have to, and it's not the diehards they have to worry about, though. It's the casuals, the families, the people that go once
and that's the
every couple
majority
of years, whatever,
is casuals,
because they still make up a majority of their income, their revenue.
And they're just not going to go because they're going to be like, well, we can't afford it right now. Or if they have to pick one or the other, they're going to pick Epic Universe at this point in time.
Yeah, I would.
Yep.
Just be like,
it's new. They're going to pick Universal.
Yeah, it's new and it looks awesome. Like and it's like, and you guys you're gonna fill in the rivers of America and you're gonna tear down the Muppets. I'm like, no.
And you're gonna put a Cars ride in. Woo-hoo.
Put a Cars ride. I don't care. It's not even Cars. It's like it's not even from the movies. It's just they're making up Cars. Like
what? Making up Cars? Okay. If they're talking about putting in like Cars characters that were not strictly in the Cars movie, Disney Cars has, trust me, I'm all too aware of this. Okay, the person in my family that is severely autistic, they fucking love Disney Cars. Okay. Well, Atanashi, they're adding cars that were not main characters in the films. Believe me, there are a fuck ton of Disney Cars characters that were not front and center in the movie, but you better believe there's merchandise that is out for them. Trust me on this. I know. And so they're taking probably characters that were not the mainline characters in Cars and bringing them forward, which a lot of people might not know about, but they're still adding Cars from the extended lore.
It's like a knockoff. I said, most of their goods are manufactured in China. They said the consumer products and merchandise division responsible for monetizing Disney's IP through toys, apparel, and collectibles is especially exposed. Disney's licensed toys, many of which are produced in China by Hasbro Mattel, are now burdened with a 104% tariff, more than doubling costs virtually overnight.
Again, their costs are way less than
why. Well, they do have the extended characters from the Planes movie as well, Shadows, but the Planes movies are not as well known. They tried to make the Planes movies a thing, and there are still the Planes merch out there, but Disney did more with the core Cars franchise than they did the Planes spin-off franchise. The Planes spin-off franchise, they tried it, and it kind of just dwindled off and died. I actually thought the Planes movies were fine. I liked them. I thought they were perfectly entertaining. I thought it was good. Well, J10, the Planes movie was Pixar. That was Pixar. Pretty sure Pixar didn't shut down. Because it was the same. It was the same. It was the same Pixar studio that did Disney Cars. At least as far as I remember. It was an offshoot? I didn't think it was an offshoot studio. Was it a branch? Okay. I mean, unfortunately, they didn't go anywhere with it. Like, the problem is with okay, we're going to be going off track here, but fuck it. The Planes movies, unfortunately, didn't do great because by that time, people were entrenched in the Cars franchise. And they didn't really care about a From the World of Cars spin-off. And that was their biggest downfall, is they did it from the world of Cars. They were trying to make it a franchise. And people just didn't care. They cared more about Disney Cars. They could, and the kids, they're like, well, we like cars. We don't care about planes. Yes, we are, Atanashi. I guarantee you we are reaching the third one. Do not worry. But yeah, with these, with these tariffs, I don't know what I don't think these tariffs might affect Canada in this way. I think it's only affecting the U.S. But okay, so maybe someone in chat can help me out. I know that for me, a Disney car toy, like a die-cast Disney car toy, is something like $6, if I'm remembering correctly. Can someone tell me what the cost of a die-cast Disney car is in the States? Does anybody happen to know offhand? By chance, and out of curiosity. Does anybody happen to know? I'm curious. The $4? Okay. $4 is fine. Again. $4 is not bad. But with the tariffs, it's gonna double. With the tariffs, that is gonna double to $8. $3.72 rounded up, $4. So that's gonna double to $8. $8 for a single die cast. If we're gonna go with an average with these tariffs, that's how much the price is gonna double. So now you're gonna be when you used to be able to buy two of these die-cast cars for your intrepid young child, you can now only buy one. So it's and again, this is just the Disney die-cast toys. Think about what this is going to do to all the rest of the products that come over from China on a daily basis.
So they're, instead of, like I said, instead of something cost them $2, it might cost them $4, but they're still going to charge you 3 times as much now and say it's because of this.
They're talking about apparel and in-park merchandise have lower tariffs because a lot of stuff is made. I think Vietnam is where a lot of clothing is made, and they're not tariffed as high. But they said though still material tariffs tighten margins may lead to price hikes that suppress demand, particularly among budget-conscious families. You have 5 kids,
which is the majority.
And if the Mickey T-shirt was $25, that's low.
Oh,
I know.
dream on. The Spirit jerseys used to be like $50. They're up to like $80, $90, depending on it.
Because people
it's
pay
insane. Yes, it's ridiculous.
I said Disney's
$80 fucking for a Spirit shirt. Holy fuck! That is absolutely insane. That is absolutely insane. And again, this is one sample size. This is a sample size of 1. Yeah, I will dial that back so Geeky can say it again.
The Spirit jerseys used to be like $50. They're up
Yeah.
to like $80, $90, depending on it.
Because
And I suspect that price Geeky gave, baby, she didn't say if that was pre or post tariff price. If that's pre-tariff price, can you imagine how much that's going to go up even more? I don't know if that $80, $90 is due to the tariffs or they've simply gone up, over time, and that's what they're at currently. Like, this is just fucking crazy.
people pay
It's insane. Yes,
pay
it's
it.
ridiculous.
It said Disney's media and entertainment distribution operations are also indirectly impacted, while not always discussed in the tariff spotlight. Consumer electronics, including streaming devices and accessories used by platforms like Disney Plus, are now significantly more expensive to produce or procure. I've heard there are runs on Apple products because people are afraid they will not be able to get a new phone.
Oh, that was the price
so
yesterday,
yeah,
Silver.
Apple was flying them in directly, and like they
Yeah.
were almost like border, like running, like running guns. They're running
bank
phones.
run. we
you know?
got also a true story. Can I talk about that?
it's
Statute of
true.
limitations is up. Yeah. So my mother used to run guns for the mafia. That was growing up.
Neon.
Didn't know. I thought we had, it's kind of weird. I thought we had a lot more money than she should have been making.
Hello, YouTube. Can you be sweetheart and join us on Twitch for the full uncensored fun?
Drawn. I don't really censor much of this, honestly. But yes, please join me on YouTube. Please join me on Twitch. We'd be happy to have you.
Single mom, shouldn't have had that much money. But I found out years later. I'm like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. Looking back when I was a kid, I'm thinking back on things. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, guys. I don't have any mafia connections. It's all good. And it's
sounds kind of sus,
Neon. So don't go harass my mom. Anyway, good luck proving it. Anyway,
Your uncle was worse, and he's passed. So
he has passed. Yes, my uncle was in like Flynn with the mob. Yeah, he was.
And he's
yeah, Andrea, I've heard about that. That Apple basically did was just doing like a desperate run of phones into the country before those tariffs kick in. I did hear about that. That they're basically trying to get as many of the iPhones as they can into the country before everything kicks in. Yeah. And I imagine other companies may be doing the same. There's what do you want to bet? Like Sony might be doing that with PlayStations. Well, no, PlayStation's probably being manufactured in Japan, so it wouldn't affect that. But let's see, what other big electronics get made in China? Computers. I think more than a few MSI is a Chinese company, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't MSI a Chinese company? Because I believe Asus is Korean. I think MSI is China. I think, unless I'm getting that wrong. Yeah, like a shit ton of electronics. MSI's Taiwan. Thank you, Kaibo. So, yeah, you can imagine like a lot of computer stuff is probably getting run like crazy into the US. We just heard about Apple because maybe someone at Apple leaked it, but I imagine Apple is just one company that is just, they're like, load up the cargo planes, fucking go, go, go. Let's get as much of the shit to the US as possible.
So,
they were
it's all
very
good.
nice though. You just don't piss them off. They were actually very nice, and they're very good cooks. Some of the best Italian food I've ever had in my entire life. But yeah, so
Hello, Dragon.
yeah, my family was mafia adjacent. I have no ties, but
I didn't know this till after I married him.
would you have married me if you knew?
Yeah, but I'm just like,
Okay.
I do not have those claims to make. My family, other than I think we had a horse thief years ago.
Oh yeah,
centuries
Andrea,
ago.
you're right about
Other
that.
than that, no.
No. So yeah, so that was the thing. She used to run guns back and forth between Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And she'd throw them in the back of the car, and yeah, that was it. They wrap them up. They'd put them in pizza boxes sometimes, and it was a whole thing. She told me the whole story. Anyway, that was a long time ago, and the statute of limitations is up, and good luck proving it.
Well, Eric, I think the femboy market will be just fine, because I'm pretty sure the femboy market is primarily concentrated in the UK. So you should be just fine. Don't worry. It's that's primarily UK and I think the US too. So you'll be fine. You'll be just fine. Don't worry.
So let's go back to talking about Disney.
Mhm.
So they said,
Well, okay. Sorry, Neon. So Thailand is all about the ladyboys. UK and the US are all about the femboys. That's two different things. Don't get them confused. That's ladyboys and femboys are two very different things.
Alarmingly, Disney's ambitious cruise line expansion has hit choppy waters. Yeah, that was what Bob Iger was all freaking out about.
Yeah, that's why he came down the whole way. He showed up at ABC editorial meeting unannounced, like surprise visit. And then I guess he kept sitting there making it about tariffs and people that were there. I can't tell you I wasn't there, but allegedly they said they felt like he was, basically trying to tell them what to write about, because the American people need to know. Because it costs him more money for his cruise ships.
Yeah. Well, it's not just that. It's not just how much these ships are going to cost. They were looking at these cruise lines, right? That like it's so much cheaper to charge people to take a cruise that is for all the maintenance in the parks and all the people you have to hire, because you have a very small crew, relatively speaking, to the theme parks. Plus, you can pay them a lot less because they're not bound by Florida laws or whatever, and a lot of them aren't even from the country. So yeah, the cruise ships it's more profit, right? And now
they have like tens of thousands of dollars for like suites, and
oh yeah, it's pure profit. It's basically just a floating hotel. You don't have those pesky rides. You might have like the aqueduct or something, and the good food, like the food's included. But the really good food you got to pay extra for anyway.
Yeah, and okay, Neon said I was about to get there. If you want to do anything on these cruise ships, you're shelling out more money. You're already paying an exorbitant amount for these cabins on these cruise ships for the experience. And then if you want to do anything else, you're paying more money. Yeah, your meals are included, but the meals are probably meh at best. If you want good food, pay me money. If you want drinks, pay me money. If you want entertainment, pay me money. So, yeah, the cruise ships make money hand over fist because of this. The problem is, people can't really afford cruise ships, and cruise ships are starting to, I don't know if this is affecting Disney, but a lot of people are starting to go, fuck the cruise ship. Too many problems happen on the cruise ships. You get all kinds of illnesses that just go ripping through every passenger on the cruise ship. So you basically have, a cruise ship is a floating fucking petri dish. Okay? I have never gone on a cruise in my life. I doubt I ever will go on a cruise. Because I do not feel like diving head first into a fucking BSL-4. Alright? I am perfectly content never going on, the only cruise ship, quote unquote, is not even a cruise ship. It's what would it be called? What would it be considered? There'd be a ferry. The most I've been on is a ferry, and that was going back and forth from the island of Newfoundland. You have to take, if you don't fly, you have to take a ferry to get back and forth from the island of Newfoundland, which is kind of like, I guess you could maybe categorize it as like a mini cruise ship. Maybe. That's even being generous. That's the most I've ever been on, and I'm fine with that only ever being the one thing that I've done. I have no interest in going on a cruise ship because it's overpriced. I can get seasick, and I don't feel like dying from the flu just to go on a cruise ship. Because when you go on a cruise ship, you are basically sleeping in a petri dish for God knows how many days. Thank you, I will pass.
So it's I don't know. So I honestly, after the pandemic, I would have been like, let's just not maybe go all in on cruises because we don't know what's going to happen. But
It's
no,
easy
they're
to
like,
take them down. Yeah.
yeah, it's too easy to take it down. No, Disney's just like, yeah, let's build more cruise ships. I would have been like, let's do what we did before and just license it out to like Norwegian or something.
Yeah,
Put Mickey
Tornado,
Mouse on a
that's another
Norwegian
fear of
boat if they
mine.
want to take the risk and the liability, whatever. But he's going all in on cruises, and I think that's a bad idea. I think it's a terrible idea. So there's ripple effect, indirect tariff fallouts across Disney's empire, consumer products and licensing business. While the tariff burden falls on third-party manufacturers, the effects will reverberate. Yeah, because people aren't going to make as much stuff, and they're not going to get as much in royalties. In parks, experiences, and products, discretionary spending pressure could depress in-park purchases.
No shit.
Especially
It already
for
has.
in-park people. Like you might
Yeah,
not
actually-
get the people in the parks because of it.
It is depressing in
You know,
park.
you know
yeah.
what I mean? It's going to depress them, but it's also going to mean that the depression that they're talking about could create a lack of guests.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just it. And then they're gonna buy stuff, right? I mean, you have to have a good economy to for people to have surplus money to spend on your stupid shit. They said, especially for imported goods like European wine or Asian seafood served in themed restaurants, price sensitive guests may. If you're a price sensitive guest, you have no business being in Disney World.
I know, right?
I'm just saying, not anymore. Price sensitive guests may scale back on merchandise and meals, dampening the high margin upsell opportunities that theme parks rely on. Advertising is going to be hit because they said there could be a downturn in advertiser demand.
No, that's that. We talked about that the other day, you and I, and it could hit across the board, even YouTube and stuff, because if companies have to spend more money getting their product over here, then they're not going to have as much money to spend on things like marketing, and usually marketing is the first thing to go.
Well, with Disney, I don't know. I question on that whether or not Disney would cut back on the marketing, because right now marketing is kind of the only thing that's incentivizing people to spend money. At this point, Disney's marketing is doing a big chunk of the heavy lifting of getting dollars into Disney's bank account. Because if it wasn't for the marketing, people would not be going to Disney World. People would not be going to see, the few people that are going to see it would not even bother going to see it. It's, like marketing and PR at this stage, I think has become crucial for Disney to make money. If they cut back on the marketing, the tariffs aren't going to make a difference to their products because nobody's going to know about or buy their products in the first place because of a lack of marketing. If people don't know about it, they will ignore it. They won't even consider purchasing it because they don't even know about it. And that's what Disney is relying upon right now. So a lot of their money making is the profit.
90% of the ads on YouTube now are like Temu, and they're getting hit with tariffs. So I'm like, yeah,
That's true.
They said studio,
not just
TV
just YouTube. Like I have YouTube Premium, so I don't get ads on YouTube. It's not just YouTube that's the Temu. Like Temu is making a huge fucking push in the online space. Like if you go on Twitter, all you see are Temu ads. There are Temu ads fucking everywhere on Twitter these days. Like you could not look through Twitter for 5 seconds without getting a Temu ad. It's fucking insane. Well, okay, but on mobile, which is where most people view Twitter, that's not an option. The Twitter app, you can't use an ad block for it.
And costs are going to rise for imported equipment, sets and materials. Will not headline grabbing, even modest delays or overruns across Marvel, Lucasfilm, or Disney animation projects could have cascading effects on release calendars and revenue forecasts. And the international resorts, particularly Shanghai, Tokyo, and Paris, may face brand and geopolitical fallout. Anti-U.S. sentiment in response to escalating tariffs could lead to boycotts or reputational damage, undermining years of carefully cultivated goodwill in key global markets. Bye-bye.
Yeah. And that is going to affect not only Disney, This right here is fucking up a lot of shit for the US. A lot of countries are starting to wipe their hands of the US as of late. A lot of countries are like, we're fucking done. We're gonna start looking for our trade elsewhere. I've seen, granted this is online, but I've seen so much commentary on videos and tweets and so on regarding the trade war currently happening, where the EU is saying, hey, Canada, you are welcome here. We will trade with you any fucking day. Like, flat out, they are, like, the people in the EU are more than happy to, like, say, fuck the US, we are all in on Canada. Yeah. Oh, yes, Fates. Oh, yes. Canada, it was Canada. The only one that I'm aware of is Canada has removed all US liquor from liquor stores.
I may be a pirate, but I can't compare to Temu.
Wait, Canada has actually removed like the American liquor from the liquor store. It's gone. They are flat out like Jack Daniel's whiskey and so on. That this was some time ago. This was several weeks back when the tariffs were first announced on Canada. American liquor got zoinked from liquor store shelves immediately. Immediately, all American liquor done, and they're not bringing any more in. And even if there's a pause on these tariffs, I honestly don't think Canada is going to start importing American liquor again anytime soon. Canada's not just going to go, oh, okay, you're putting a pause on it, all is good now. No, Canada's going to go, oh, you're putting a pause on it because you suddenly realize shit's about to hit the fan on your end. We're not playing that game. So, yeah,
It's fine, I have officially became my own country. All hail the great country of Mike.
Ha ha ha. So, yeah, Canada is regardless of this pause, Canada's going, yeah, we don't fucking trust you anymore. Your liquors, for the time being, your liquor's staying off our shelves, at least as far as I've heard. I mean, this is going to be, this entire trade war is going to be long-lasting, unfortunately.
Tiger sucking up to China, sucking up to the
Basically,
CCP. Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do? I think Shanghai is a bad idea. I think given the way that things are going, I think it's a bad idea to have. They have two. They have Shanghai and they have the Hong Kong park. Now, Tokyo is co-owned with, what is it, the Oriental Land Company? Which is why it's a nice park.
And they're also going to be doing a ship with Disney, too. One of the cruise ships with Disney. It's going to be done by the Oriental Land Company as well.
So that'll be the best ship in the fleet.
They joked that it was going to be, everything was going to be smaller. Because it was made for a Japanese and Asian audience.
No,
oh my God!
No, I'm serious. They said that it was going to be made smaller.
That's like a lot of the rides that they were.
I don't know about Shanghai tornado, but Hong Kong, yes.
Here, and it's like, yeah, they didn't account for the 380.
Yes, I heard about that.
6'3" American that was going to be riding this thing. It's like, oh, you're poo sized.
Half the kids don't even fit.
I'm sure their poo is sized large. Anyway, but yeah, so they're basically like, yeah, people are canceling theme park vacations, disposable income is shrinking, and Disney is definitely very open. And they should have learned all of this from the pandemic. You think they had 5 years. I would have been like, let's kind of pandemic proof, recession proof our company, get into some things that aren't going to, but you're an entertainment company, and entertainment is one of the first things to go. And frankly, if people aren't entertained by your current offerings, they're going to go back to older offerings, or they're going to look elsewhere for entertainment.
Yep.
And there it is. Number one, Disney did not learn from what happened with COVID. Disney kind of had a trial run with this with COVID. And when COVID ended, they said, cool, back to business as usual. And they didn't learn from it. They just said, okay, fuck it, this will never happen again. Full speed ahead. And now something happens. They're not prepared. And so they've just they basically beaten themselves down more and more and more and more. And it's it's them literally hitting themselves. Disney has been playing a really stupid game of stop hitting yourself. But they don't stop. And they did not prepare, they did not learn their lesson. Tornado not under the current leadership and not for at least 10 years. Disney needs a complete change of leadership, and they need about 10 years of steady, positive output from their entertainment divisions. They need at least 10 years of steady, positive output for them to start to recover. That's what's going to happen with Disney right now. There's not going to be anything fast. If they even hope to make a comeback, the first thing they've got to do is change over all leadership. Well, Cortez, they might, if they do a 100% changeover, and they prove for at least 10 years that they'll come back. It can be achieved. I do think it can be achieved with the trust in Disney, but this is not something that's going to happen quickly. And at present, Disney is doing absolutely nothing to foster that trust again. In fact, they're going the opposite direction. So once they make absolutely major changes to their company as a whole, the entire corporation needs to undertake a massive change and then start actually putting out product that people want, instead of Disney saying, we know what you want, this is what you're going to get. And instead Disney changing things over to, this is what you want, we will give it to you. When they start doing that, and they do that for about 10 years, then people might actually start slowly regaining trust in Disney as a brand and as a company. I think that is what it's going to take to start the path to recovery and Disney's potential comeback. It is not going to happen quickly, no matter what anyone tries to say. It will not happen quickly. Yeah, and we saw one positive fucking choice in canceling the live action Tangled movie, where they fucking race swapped the main character again. That's like one positive fucking thing that they've done. And the fact that Disney had this in the works as it stood, and then they saw what happened with Snow White and they said, oh, okay, this is a bad idea. The fact that they had that in the pipeline in the first place is not good. Okay? They put this in, they already pissed people off by race swapping Ariel in The Little Mermaid. That already pissed off OG fans of Disney. Then they're going to race swap Tangled. And they race swap fucking Snow White. Number one, Disney needs to stop with the goddamn race swapping. No, apparently, I have no idea if it's confirmed or rumor Bible. I have not looked at the story. I'll probably look at the story tomorrow, because I tended to watch it on stream, but that ship is kind of sailed. I think it was confirmed and that's why it got put in the can, but I'm not 100% sure. But the fact is that Disney is race swapping their Disney princesses at every chance they get. They race swapped Ariel so she's black now. They race swapped Snow White so she's Latina instead of Caucasian. I'm sure. You know, of course they did not race swap Lilo. They kept Lilo as Hawaiian, but they did race swap the tourist. So you see where I'm going with this. If Disney can stop fucking race swapping characters. Actually, no, let me rephrase. If Disney can stop color washing their white characters, that might be a big fucking step. It's not just the redheads, Mechnus. They are basically color swapping every fucking white character in their entire fault. Rygat, say that a little louder so I can watch all the Latino chatter to start beating the living fuck out of you for saying that. Yeah, so, but Atanashi, the problem is even with the writing, the problem you're running into these days is it feels very egregious because it is also not being done in the reverse. That's the problem. It is not being done in the reverse because at the mere suggestion of it being done in reverse, people actually flip their fucking shit and say you're being racist. If you have a white actor playing a non-white role, people absolutely flip their shit and the studios cave instantaneously. So it's going in one direction only, and people see this. People are seeing this and they're saying, fuck you, I'm not giving you money for this. And Disney is a primary offender in this instance. Disney, stop doing that. That might make for a good fucking start.
So there we go. All right.
I just think the comeback story is a little bit premature there anyway.
All right. So we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Was it Kaibo? Okay.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Real. Yeah. Okay, so I did kind of read on that. I did. But chat, this is what I do.